breaking news hit the world of football last night as Liverpool and Rennes have agreed a deal that will see the highly rated, highly talented youngster known as Jeremy Jacquet go to Liverpool. French summer. A 60 million euros was agreed last night between the two clubs. Fabrizio Romano broke the news, and it seems as though Liverpool have at least got one centre-back through the door for this summer of 2026. Hey guys, hope we're doing well. Hope we're doing all good on this Monday morning. A brand new week beckons, and it's already kicked off with some incredible news. If, of course, you are a Liverpool fan, that, as I mentioned at the top of the video, the signing of Jeremy Jacquet is to go through in the summer of 2026. A deal has been agreed. The medical is taking place today, but the official confirmation and the official unveiling of this new signing will, of course, go through in the summer. First and foremost, I hope we're doing well. Let me know in the chat where we're watching from this morning, what we're up to today. And of course, talk some football with me. Talk some football, whether it's about the main bulk of this video in terms of Liverpool's new signing, or whether it is about anything else to do with football. We're also going to be talking a little bit about Liverpool's victory at the weekend against Newcastle. We're going to be previewing a little bit of Liverpool's upcoming game against Manchester City on Sunday. But yes, I hope we're all doing very well. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. Can't thank you enough for the love and support that the channel has been receiving. And of course, get involved in the chat, like I mentioned. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know where you're up to. And of course, talk some football with me. It doesn't have to necessarily be about Liverpool or about the new signing or anything to do with those things. It can be about anything and everything. Big up Dean, who's already in the chat. He says, morning, Fletch. I hope this Jeremy signing isn't a panic signing because he's a bit of an unknown player. Well, I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I don't know a lot about him myself. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm one of these people that is all-knowing about near enough every football team, every footballer, and so on and so forth. I don't really watch the French league, I have to admit, so I don't really know a great deal about Jeremy Jacquet. I am someone that has been basically doing a lot of research since understanding that Liverpool have been interested in him. So I've been finding reports, seeing what a lot of other people are saying about him, watching highlight reels, that kind of thing. And you could only get a handful of knowledge when you do those things. You obviously have to look at him in greater detail. You obviously have to look at him on a more frequent basis, of course. But from the looks of this guy, 20 years of age, he looks tall, strong, a big physical presence. He looks quick as well. He looks pretty quick for a defender. He looks like he is the total package in terms of what you would like and want from a defender. Just purely based off the, like I say, the research that I've done and the people that I've heard talk about him. I know he was obviously highly rated by a lot of other teams. I know that Chelsea, for one, were very much interested in him, just to name one of the many clubs that were seemingly linked with his name at some point or another. But like I say, I can't comment too much on it because I like I say, I don't know the inside and out of his game. I don't know all the intricate details of his game. Maybe someone in the chat can maybe spring some more, maybe shed some more light on the signing of Jeremy Jacquet and let me know what kind of player he is like. That maybe follows the French league a bit more closely than I do. Like I say, I only have barely a handful of games that I've seen Rennes play. Like I say, the majority of stuff that I've seen of this guy is through secondhand information like I say, and highlight reels that I've been watching since Liverpool have been linked with his name. So I can't. It may make this live stream a bit pointless, but I can't really comment too much on how I've seen him play and all of that stuff. But like I say, from the looks of him alone and from the bits that I've seen, a big physical presence, quick, strong, 20 years of age, so he has obviously got a long way to go before he's a finished article. But there are elements of his game that I do kind of see potential in. There are elements of his game that I do like. And like I say, if he's going to be with Van Dijk for at least 1 year, if he's going to be with a lot of other teammates for at least 1 or 2 more years or whenever, then of course he can learn a lot. He can learn a lot in that time, and obviously he can be the successor to at least one of these two centre backs that we've got currently playing right now, and maybe even Joe Gomez as well, depending on what his future is saying. But we obviously needed to strengthen in that position. That is the one position that we definitely needed to strengthen. If you could choose one above all else, like I say, midfield is definitely another one. But centre-back was obviously going to be the shaky area because of obviously what the future entailed and what the near future entailed for that position. Van Dijk's not exactly getting any younger and has dropped off a little bit this season. Konate, obviously, it's hit and miss as to whether or not he's going to stay because of obviously his current contract situation. And Joe Gomez is not exactly the most reliable of centre-back when it comes to his fitness and his injury issues. And not only that as well, but let's face it, if he does stay fit long enough, do you really see him at the age that he's currently at to be wanting to stay on the bench at Liverpool going forward? If he's at a position in his career where he's finally going to be getting some game time because his injuries are in the past or whatever it may be, he'll obviously want to play as many minutes as possible. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting situation surrounding Joe Gomez. But this is a good step in the right direction. Look, I still think it's crazy we didn't get Mark Gahey. I still think it's crazy that for the price that he was going for, we didn't get him for the here and now. But at least we've acted for the summer. At least this guy is going to come in the summer and is going to aid a position that is in desperate need of fixing. So I think it's a good step in the right direction. Obviously, I still think we need more in that area. And obviously, it will definitely be needing more attention if obviously certain circumstances are met, such as Konate leaves, Gomez leaves, Van Dijk continues to decline, that kind of thing. It's going to need even more attention. But this is at least a very good step in the right direction for the summer of 2026. Wonder Liverpool performance against Newcastle for the first time this season. We looked good. Yeah, I mean, for the entirety of the game, I'd say we look good. I would say that it wasn't like for the first time we looked good, because obviously there have been certain games and certain moments here and there that we've looked good in. I wouldn't say it's all been completely doom and gloom. Like I say, we were very good against Real Madrid, for example, but certainly in the Premier League, I would probably say that from start to finish, that has been our best performance. Even though for the first opening 25, 30 minutes or so, we weren't exactly that great. But yes, I would say that for the most part in that game, we actually were very, very good indeed. Where are we at? Well done for Liverpool for acting to our situation. Yeah, I mean, like I say, I still think we've missed a trick with not signing Mark Gahey. I still think that was a position we needed a position we need to strengthen for the here and now, rather than wait for the summer. I have a horrible feeling that it could have been something that we may regret as this end of the season wears on, and obviously we come to the crunch time and not just chasing Champions League football, but also Champions League stuff, as well as maybe even the FA Cup, depending on how far into that competition we go as well. So it's not like it's completely out of the woods yet, but at the same time, at least we have made preparations for the future. And that is something that I'm happy about. But again, I just hope we don't regret it for the immediate future. For the long-term future, it looks like it's at least an area we are looking to strengthen, we are looking to reinforce. I just hope that we don't regret it for like I say, the future, for the immediate future. Big up to Ballum, who's in the building. He says, kind of like, open your wallet. Yeah, we're back on that money trail, bro. We're back on that money trail. Happy transfer deadline day. Yeah, it's deadline day today. Deadline day. Are we expecting any big moves in this deadline day, guys? Are we expecting anything else to happen today? Not necessarily for Liverpool. I don't think Liverpool would do anything outside of this. And even then, this is technically not for this transfer window. This is for the summer transfer window. That is to come later on down the line. But are we expecting any deadline day business from anyone at all? Let me know. Let me know what you got your eye on today. Big up yourself, bro. I'm good, man. I hope you're doing good as well, Ballum. A lot of money for this player, a defender in. Yeah, I mean, like I say, I said earlier on in the summer that 20 million we could have gone and got Mark Gahey. But now we're going to have to spend double, triple, whatever the amount on a defender. And look at what we've done. We've spent double and a half on this defender than we would have done on Mark Gahey. Now, granted, he's not coming in until the summer, but he is younger than what Mark Gahey is. He's less proven than what Mark Gahey is, but he does have a lot of potential behind him. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. But this is something that we should have expected. And I certainly expected, because I mentioned this multiple times when City went and gone and got Mark Gahey. So, yeah, it is what it is. Ricardo Pepe went from PSV to Fulham, unless it doesn't happen, for example. Tottenham, most Tottenham thing ever. They give Arsenal the trophy yesterday. 100%. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting, especially when they went 2-0 down, Spurs. I definitely was not expecting them to come back from 2 goals down to draw 2-2. And the worst part about it is that I think not next weekend, this upcoming weekend, not next weekend because it's the FA Cup, but I believe the weekend after the FA Cup, that's the weekend that Arsenal play Tottenham. And you can guarantee that Spurs will probably lose to Arsenal. Spurs will probably lose to Arsenal. So it just makes it even worse for Tottenham. But yeah, Thomas Frank will be happy at least. Yeah, get used to it, guys. Arsenal are winning the league. Get used to it. I don't know. It's horrible. It's horrible to think about. It's horrible to think about. Jeremy Jacquet was in the McDonald's League. Do you think we can beat City? City's current form, yes. If we play how we did against Newcastle, against how we did against Karabag, how we did against Marseille, yes. But there is a good chance that Slot probably overthinks it and does exactly what he did at the game at the Etihad earlier on in the season. And rather than go for the counter-attacking style that works so effectively, we go for the high press and possession style, which we are not suited to whatsoever. So we shall see. We shall see. But I'd give us a good chance, especially with us being at home. I'd give us a better chance than if we were away from home. But I'm still not entirely confident. But City's defense, I mean, Spurs got in a fair few times yesterday behind City's defense. So we shall see. But there is a good opportunity for us there. There is certainly a good opportunity for us there. What is next? I must say, as a viewer, your coverage is better than Sky. You're dressing up for evening stream for Deadline Day. No, I don't think there'll be an evening stream tonight. Like I say, unless something was to break, that'd be massive. But I don't see anything being massive. This is apart from the Semenyo and Gahey deals, which were kind of wrapped up pretty quickly. It's been a pretty poor deadline day. It's been a pretty poor transfer window. I was expecting it with being a World Cup year as well. I was expecting it to be a bit more, a bit more active, a bit busier. But it hasn't panned out that way, I don't think. I don't think it's been that great. There's been obviously a couple of big deals which occurred in the first half of the window. But then since then, it's kind of died down a little bit. And even this deal, like I say, is more so for the summer. But we shall see. From your spices and sauces, were you surprised Liverpool didn't sign the Sunderland defender on loan yesterday? I expected this to happen away, hence my other comment. Considering our defensive options are kind of slim right now, I was thinking that we would do a loan deal because we don't learn from our past mistakes. Because it was only a few years ago we were signing Ben Davies from Preston and we were signing Ozan Kabak on loan. But and all day yesterday there was talk of that Sunderland defender. There was all that talk, and then at night it just blew up from Romano that Jeremy Jacquet to Liverpool is a here we go. So a little bit kind of awkward there. But yeah, the only spices and sauces I've got are the ones that are in my cupboard and fridge. So I've got nothing. How many squad and fringe players do you see leaving Liverpool today? Kyron Ramsey leaving today, or Summer? You expect Summer? Soboslai was very good at the weekend playing right back. The fact that our only fit and available right back has been told in the public domain by Arne Slot that we have better options available in that position than our naturally choiced right back is probably a sign that there is no future for Calvin Ramsey at Liverpool Football Club right now. There is no future for Calvin Ramsey at Liverpool Football Club. We are playing makeshift players at right back. We have played the likes of Curtis Jones there. We've played Soberslide there, of course. Gomez has played there. Didn't Gravenberch or Endo play there once or twice? Yeah, Calvin Ramsey's got no future at Liverpool Football Club, unfortunately. Calvin Ramsey is finished. I say, if he's not going to get into the team when both our other first choice right backs are available, and he's like the only right back that is available at Liverpool Football Club, then there is no hope, unfortunately, for Calvin Ramsey. Do you see Calvin Ramsey leaving for his Scotland squad chances? Good mention of this being a World Cup year. You are what a lot of kids say. You have raw knowledge. I try. It could be good for Ramsey, and I would expect probably a loan deal that may materialize into a permanent deal if he is to go, but it doesn't seem like Liverpool want to lose players, even if they are squad players, and especially with the way that our defense is dropping like flies, I think it would be very stupid to get rid of him, even if he is very much on the outside looking in. So we shall see what happens with Calvin Ramsey, but I would expect more of a move to materialize in the summer rather than the here and the now. As a Liverpool supporter, Conor Bradley ended Calvin Ramsey Liverpool career. I wanted Calvin to work out. He had a loan away, such as Wigan and so on. Kilmarnock too, I think. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. When he was brought in, there was a lot of optimism that maybe this could be the backup right back to Trent going forward, give him some competition. It's just not panned out that way, unfortunately, and sometimes those things happen. Do you see a tweet from Liverpool fan who say Tyler Morton is playing good in McDonald's League? I don't watch this league. No, like I say, I don't watch that league either. I don't watch the French league, unfortunately, and that's why I don't know a great deal about this Jeremy Jacquet signing other than what I've researched. But it does appear that Tyler Morton is doing very well over there. Like I say, a lot of there's a lot of people that comment on Tyler Morton and comment on how well he's doing over in France, and it does seem like he's killing it over there. So big up to Tyler Morton, and maybe we could be looking at this one as a bit of a missed opportunity as far as what Morton is concerned. Anyway, this is what Romano had to say on his big breaking news yesterday. He says, breaking, Jeremy Jacquet to Liverpool. Here we go. Deal agreed now for June 2026, as revealed. Understand fee is 60 million euros plus 10 million in add-ons to Rennes. Jeremy has agreed personal terms with Liverpool Football Club. Agreement done for summer of 2026 for one of the most talented centre-backs in the world. And like I say, he definitely is seemingly that. Like I say, this guy has been linked with a number of top clubs from across Europe, and it seems as though Liverpool have won the race to sign him. Looks strong, looks good in the air, looks like he's a big physical presence as well as being quick. Intelligent for someone of his age. Some of these kind of sides to his game are a little rough around the edges, as you'd expect from a 20-year-old, but there's no doubt about it that with some fine-tuning, some filing down and smoothing out of those rough edges, this guy can be a top quality defender. There is no doubt about it that seemingly this guy can be a top quality defender. And like I say, I'm happy that Liverpool are at least addressing this problem and trying to get stuff done early. Like I say, I still think Mark Gahey's a missed opportunity, and I will constantly and continuously say that. But at the same time, at least we have addressed something, and it does spring a bit of excitement that we've got It does spring a bit of excitement that we have got a highly rated, highly talented player that is going to be coming into our ranks very, very soon. It's interesting because it wasn't so long ago that we were hearing rumors and things about how Slot doesn't want to really work with the youngsters. Slot apparently has come to blows with the Liverpool hierarchy over playing certain youngsters, and here we are bringing in a 20-year-old who will be 21 in the summer. So it's an interesting purchase. It's an interesting one to say the least. And obviously, again, it's interesting to see whether or not this has any indication on maybe the future of Arne Slot in terms of, is he going to still be here in the summer? Is he going to be leaving in the summer? Are Liverpool going to get in the sack very soon? Depending on how results go, of course. If we don't win anything this season, is that going to play into the decision-making process of whether or not to keep Arne Slot? So there's a lot there to really contend with and to look at. A lot of different factors going forward. But yeah, I, for one, am very excited by this. I'm very excited by the purchase of such a highly rated talent that a lot of other teams were looking at. I like it. I really, really do. Whether or not this will transpire into something special, whether or not he'll reach his potential or not, only time will tell. But like I say, he's at least got 1 year that he will be working with the likes of Van Dijk. He could be working with Konate if, of course, Konate signs, and making that shift over from France to England is something that obviously he knows. He'll know about from previous years, not just obviously coming from Leipzig, but obviously starting out in French football, of course. So there's a lot there. And obviously a lot of other players can help him settle in as well. So there's a lot there for him to kind of help bed him in. It's going to be an interesting signing. It really, really is, in my personal opinion. Summer 2026, Liverpool signed 1 or 2 defenders in now. Signed Ben Davies back on a loan. Like I say, we've still not learned. We've still not learned from those days, bro. Still not learned. France do have a lot of good players. He is next bunch of players for the French team. They've got a deep pool of talent. There's no doubt about it. A massively deep pool of talent from the French. Scary how deep their national pool is. Interesting. Big up Lucho Magic's in the building. How you doing? Well, my friend. Lovely to have you here with us. It says, hey, bro, do you know the content creator Leo's goals? I know of him. I don't know him personally. I know of him, though. You know, doing some good work. He seems very excited about this signing of Jacquet, and they were slowly becoming French FC. I would say it does seem like it is a very promising young signing. I'm not, like I say, I don't follow the French league religiously, so I can't necessarily comment too much on this guy because I haven't seen him week in, week out. Like I say, I've seen him maybe once or twice potentially. Most of my research, though, has been secondhand. So it has been through reports. It has been through other people's opinions. It has been through what other people have been saying about him. So I can't really say too much myself personally. But from the little bits I have seen, from what I have read, from what I have heard, from what I have seen, this looks promising. This looks very, very promising in terms of being a defender for the here and now that can still grow into an incredible talent, an incredible prospect for the future of defending, for the future of Liverpool Football Club, and so on and so forth. Leon Goretzka is leaving Bayern this summer. Where will he go? He is finally leaving Bayern Munich. I reckon he'd stay in Germany. I reckon he'd stay in Germany. He'd go to. I don't. He'd go to like a mid-table to a maybe European competing German side. To be honest with you, I think the ship has sailed on maybe him coming to the Premier League or anything like that. So I think he'll probably stay in Germany. I think he'll go to like a mid-table German club or a club in Germany that is trying to compete to get into those Champions League places, maybe, or some form of European football places. But yeah, man, what a career! What a career for Leon Goretzka! What a career! Yeah, he's getting on a little bit. He's getting on a little bit. Still think he's a talent though. Just probably not what you're looking for in terms of long term. Adam Wharton to Liverpool today or no? No, I can't see it. Can't see it today. Like I say, I think that's definitely one for the summer. I think that's definitely one to look out for in the summer, especially with Palace in free fall right now. Palace look awful right now. Like Palace, they've lost their best defender. They lost Eze in the summer. They're on the verge of losing Mateta because he's going to AC Milan today. It seems like the medical is underway or has happened, or I'm not 100% sure on whether or not that's actually gone through completely or not as of right now. But it does seem like that's happening. And they're probably going to lose the highly rated talent that is Adam Wharton in the summer. So, and to boot, their manager just doesn't seem interested anymore. Their manager looks like he wants the sack, which kind of adds more fuel to my prediction that he's going to go to Manchester United. I still think either way he's going to go to United at the end of the season, but he just doesn't look interested. Like Glasner just does not look interested anymore. He looks like he's done. It looks like he's done with Palace. He's done with the club, and he's just going through the motions right now. So we shall see. We shall see. By the way, Curtis Jones leaving rumor cannot happen. Liverpool need him. Long-term Premier League homegrown rule thing. Yeah, not only that as well, but if something was to happen to Szoboszlai, we also need him to cover it right back. So yeah, we definitely do need to keep him. So again, it'll be interesting to see what happens if obviously the kind of lack of football argument does continue to be apparent for Curtis Jones, because that could obviously spring something in the summer. If we can upgrade on any player, I take the upgrade, of course. I want what's best for Liverpool Football Club at the end of the day. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Curtis Jones. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this going forward, because this has probably been the first real transfer window that I can think of in which him leaving has become a real possibility. But I don't see him leaving today. I just don't see that being a thing. Flesh, do you know the YouTube channel Liverpool LFC fan, the Dugout fan channel? I think you two should collaborate. I'm always open to collaborations. I don't think I know that one. I don't think I'll have to go through and try and remember. My memory is not so good. But yeah, it's definitely something I'll have to check out. Not sound like Ralf Ragnick at Hoffenheim. Bundesliga village team are third or so. Do they have Kovac or not anymore? Imagine a village team in England in the Premier League. Stories like that enrich leagues like that. So It's always good. So it's always good to have a variety. Mateta was leaving, going to AC Milan. Yeah. I didn't know if that deal was finalized or not. I know that's happening. I know the medical was taking place. I just didn't know if that was officially confirmed or not yet. When Leone comes back from injury, he will be like a new signing potentially. Do you think that will be enough? Not necessarily. Let's also be real about the Leone thing as well. As good as obviously he looked, there's no telling what that kind of injury can do. There's no telling what that kind of injury what that kind of injury can do to a player. There could be knock-on effects, there could be side effects. Other injuries could occur upon returning. So we have to obviously be very careful with Leone. Hopefully it's like a case of he's young, so he recovers pretty well. Whilst he's young, it's better to have it there's no better time to have that kind of injury occur, but it's probably better to have it whilst you're young and your body's still developing and growing and stuff like that, rather than when you're kind of on the slightly older side and somewhat breaking down a little bit. So it's probably better to have it now than hopefully later on in this career. But yeah, we're gonna have to treat it very carefully. We're gonna obviously have to slowly bleed him back into the side. I hope that obviously that this doesn't derail his development and this doesn't derail him as a player, because like I say, these kind of things can have an effect, whether it be on your health, whether it be on your injury record that you have in your career, or whether it be your development. The amount of times that we've seen a player have so much potential but constantly get plagued by a massive injury, and it knocks their development sideways. I mean, you take Jack Wilshere, for example, number of injuries in his career, highly rated, so talented for someone of his age. Big what if story in terms of what would have happened if his injuries hadn't derailed his career so much. I look at Federico Chiesa as well, someone that I think still plays at a very, very good level, but I think he could have been so much more had he not had those two big injuries that unfortunately plagued his career. So Leone, I like the look of. I think it will be very, very good. I'm hoping that he comes back stronger than ever. I don't know. Is it going to be enough? I would like some a bit more experience in there. I mean, let's say worst case scenario, both Gomez and Konate do leave. Van Dijk's our only experienced defender. We're bringing in Jacquet. We'll have Leone back by maybe Christmas time, potentially at the end of this year. Maybe a little earlier, but when you think about building up his fitness and stuff like that and working through it and trying to manage it properly, it'll probably be about Christmas time that we start to see him back properly. And even then, who knows? Because who knows where the squad's going to be by then? Who knows where the head coach is going to be by then? Who knows where anything is going to be by then? We might even be knocked out of competitions that Leone probably would be playing in. I think we'd need more experience in there. Like I say, before yesterday, I was saying that we need to sign at the very least two defenders, two centre backs. We need to sign at the very least two centre, regardless of what happens with Konate, regardless of what happens with Gomez. I would still say we need two centre backs as a minimum. We shall see, though. Flex, what do you make of the Jeffrey Epstein files having AC Milan in this? Are you a big fan? I mean, who is a big fan of Jeffrey Epstein? That's so weird. That is such a weird comment, dude. Do we have Harvey Elliott back today, or is he going on to Fulham on loan? I think he's staying with AC Milan. I think he's staying with Aston Villa. Andrew Robertson not leaving anymore. No, like I said, I think the injuries that we've picked up have kind of forced Liverpool's hand a little bit to kind of keep Robertson. And I know there was that talk about getting rid of Robertson, recalling Tsimikas, but I think it makes financial sense more to keep Robertson rather than recall Tsimikas. So, big up, bro. Hope you're doing well. Lovely to have you back with us. I hope you're doing well on this Monday morning. It says, "Hi, pal. The dugout I used that." I can't even read. My eyes just went funny. Hi, pal. The dugout I used made that channel. He's Newcastle fan. Oh, nice. Fair enough. Dean Hayes with the Adam Lallana is like a new signing line. I mean, he's not necessarily wrong. It's just going to be interesting to see how he comes back. We do have some youth players can move up summer if some leave. Yeah, we do. To be fair, I just, like I say, just with everything that's kicked off this season, and with obviously the rumors and reports that there've been some disagreements behind the scenes, especially when it comes to the development of young players, I just don't know where Slot stands on them. I don't know where the club stands on some of them. It's an interesting sort of dynamic, and it's an interesting sort of thing to dive into. But I don't know. Especially when you consider that, Rio Engamoa, I think, should have got more minutes and more game time this season. He hasn't. We shall see. I just want to point this out, by the way, just before we go any further. Something something slightly off topic in terms of Liverpool and what we're discussing here. I've just read something that apparently Sky Sports have put out there that Arsenal might be looking into potentially an incredible deadline day move for Sandro Tonali at Newcastle. Now, I don't think it will. I think if this was to happen, this would have been something that would have happened earlier, and very much throughout the transfer window, this would have been a story. I think it's only really blown up now. As incredible a story as that would be, and obviously as incredible a signing as that would be for Arsenal, instantly, seemingly, Newcastle have responded to these rumours and said that there's been no contact, and Sandro Tonali is not for sale, or they've instantly dismissed Arsenal's apparent interest. Where have we heard that story before from Newcastle? Can't think of it. I can't think of it. Can't think of where I've heard that kind of story and that kind of response before. Anyway, we shall see. I just wanted to throw that out there because it just popped up on my phone. It was just an interesting thing for me. Fletch, I don't watch it. Would you ever go over on the overlap? You watch this. Why haven't you been on Sky Sports overlap? Would you ever be in there? Look. I don't necessarily care for the people they have on that show. Some of the fans, I don't know them personally. I'm sure they're lovely people. But yeah, some of their takes would probably annoy me, and not only that, but some of the hosts that they have, whether it be Neville, whether it be Carragher, Scholes, whoever, that would kind of frustrate me as well. They kind of frustrate me as well. So, yeah, I every now and again I might have it on in the background, the overlap, especially if they've got like a good guest or something. But I only sometimes look at it, and if there's some sort of interesting clip, whether it be for good or bad reasons, that's the only time I would really check it out, because I have used some of the talking points on there or some of the takes on there as the main bulk of content pieces. So yeah, we shall see, but I doubt it. It's just too frustrating. Make sure you're hitting the like button, guys. Make sure you're subscribing as well if you're new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. Thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedules to hear the ramblings and whatever else of this guy on a Monday morning. Big up yourselves. We've been going for 45 minutes now. We're going to go for a little bit longer. But appreciate you all being here. Sorry for the long question there. Yeah, it's fine, bro. Like I say, all questions are all fairs. Somebody throwing you questions, fair enough. All questions, fine. It's all good. Adam Lallana is now Southampton under-21s manager. Fair enough. Big up Lallana. Until Gomez goes, we will never stop the injury problems. It's such a shame, man. He's such a good defender. He is such a good defender, but he's just been plagued by injuries. Like, I genuinely think he could have been one of the best defenders in one of the best defenders currently in the Premier League right now. I genuinely think he could have been one of the best defenders in the Premier League right now. But the problem is that his injuries constantly and consistently let this man down. It's so annoying. It really is so annoying. James Milner played for a few minutes for Brighton and Hove Albion in their last match. Yeah, he's one appearance away from Gareth Barry, isn't he? He's one appearance away from equaling Gareth. Is it equaling or beating Gareth Barry's record? I think it's equaling, and then obviously one more will break it. I could be wrong on that one. It could be the other way around, but yeah, big up James Milner and his longevity, man. That guy is going to outlast a lot of us. David Moyes being booked for celebrating a last-minute goal. Is the game gone? It's always annoying when you see that kind of thing happen. It's always annoying. And especially, I put Van Hecker in my team as well, in my fantasy team. And I thought, I'm getting clean sheet points. And then, of course, Everton went and equalised. So I'm a little bit annoyed at that. I am a little bit annoyed at that. I wanted some clean sheet points from Van Hecker this week. But it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be. That's the ups and downs and roller coaster of a ride that is fantasy football. Damn annoying. Big up niche fans in the building. This guy only shows up when Man United are winning. If Man United lost this weekend, we wouldn't be hearing from him. But here he is. And he almost bottled it, by the way. Almost bottled it if it wasn't for Sesko, of course. 3-2, lads. Sesko's on fire. We're going unbeaten now. That's Man United. Well, now that niche fan said that, we're going unbeaten, you can guarantee that the next game that United play, they're going to lose. But then again, you are against Tottenham, so you probably are going to win that. Hey, that guy might actually finally get to shave his head now. You've got Tottenham and you've got West Ham, is it? West Ham in the next Premier League game. So that's pretty big. That's pretty big on for him at least. Anyway, and it's pretty big that that obviously may happen. He might finally shave his head. I was slightly shocked when they saw when they said was Konate's second goal for Liverpool. Sure, he scored more. I think that's his second Premier League goal. I'm pretty sure that's his. I'm sure he scored a few in the Champions League. I'm sure he scored about 4 or 5 in the Champions League. I'm sure that what they meant, or what they may not have said, was that was his second Premier League goal. I mean, he scored 2 this season already. Yeah, he scored 7 goals for Liverpool overall, got 4 assists, including 2 goals this season, 1 in the Premier League, 1 in the Champions League. But yeah, that's his second. That's his second Premier League goal, I think. Do you think Sky Sports will hold on to anything today for viewers? I won't be watching their coverage today. Does anybody watch Sky Sports anymore on deadline day? I used to back in the day. I used to, because it was fun, and that was before Jim White was kind of a prat. You know, Sky Sports back in the day for deadline day stuff used to be fun. It used to be great. Used to be really good coverage. Maybe because we didn't have anything else, or we didn't have anything better, maybe. That was before like the YouTube game really kicked off. But like I say, does anybody watch Sky Sports for their coverage anymore? Especially when they get like, you know, random people on to spout absolute nonsense. Does anybody really watch that kind of coverage anymore? I don't know. I don't think they do anymore. It's not as good, especially now that obviously the likes of David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano have changed the game, because they normally bring the updates out, and then about an hour or so later, Sky then latch onto it and go, oh, we just had some breaking news, and everyone's like, yeah, we heard it from Romano about an hour ago. What are you on about? I think as well as obviously YouTube killing it, I think Romano and Ornstein have kind of killed Sky Sports as well. But they'll still wheel out their usual guests to spout absolute nonsense. Sly Sports News is what Wild Dead Wolf is saying here. Raheem is a free agent. Could he be on the move today? Well, even if he isn't, if he's a free agent, he can move at any time. Be interesting to see where he does go. Like I say, it's a World Cup year, and we've seen stranger things happen when it comes to certain players get like a 6-month kind of buzz and manage to still make it onto the flight to wherever the World Cup's taking place in previous moments and tournaments. So it's not the realms of possibility for Sterling to not be on the plane to the World Cup this year. But like I say, I don't actually know, because I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I mean, I think his wage demands is something that may be putting off a lot of teams, but there are probably a lot of teams that could do with a winger of his experience. Especially ones down at the bottom of the table. Especially them ones that are down at the bottom of the table. I know West Ham was seemingly said to be interested. I know that I know Tottenham was seemingly said to be interested as well. Could be an interesting one. It could be an interesting one. We'll see. Takes hours for Sky Sports to report. Yeah, exactly. It does. It's it's like I say, Romano and Ornstein have changed the game, man. Romano and Ornstein changed the game on reporting on Sky Sports. I remember like deadline day used to be exciting, especially when it was like an 11 o'clock deadline, and you'd get up really early and you'd watch Sky Sports coverage. You'd have it on all day, and it would basically be like, breaking news, this guy is now on his way to this team, and they'd have reporters outside the stadiums, and it used to actually be kind of fun. Maybe it's just because I was a kid and I didn't know any better. Maybe that made it fun. I don't know. But yeah, like in the modern day, like Sky Sports is kind of a dinosaur now in terms of reporting on that kind of stuff. Big up Kinsman is in the building. Lovely to have you here, bro. Good that you're here. Hope you're doing well on this Monday morning. We wouldn't have him until June time, right? Yeah. We basically, the medical's taking place today. Everything is seemingly done in terms of personal terms, agreeing a fee. Medicals to be done today, but then once he's signed on the dotted line, it won't be until the summer of 2026. So we won't be getting him until June. That is what Romano has stated today. Did you see the Toon are going crazy? 6-year-old mascot left on her own by the captain. Take a look. Yeah, I saw that. It looks bad. It looks bad on the squad, and yeah, it kind of looks bad. I've seen Newcastle fans on meltdown though. Newcastle fans in meltdown has been amusing to me, especially because, like, you know, everything that we did. That Geordie Shaw guy I saw, he was going crazy. He loved it when Anthony Gordon scored, and then we just went, all right, we're just gonna slap you with 4 goals now, and really left him looking like more of a mug than he already looks. And then my favorite, Geordie Josh. That guy has been having a meltdown on Twitter over Liverpool, been calling Liverpool fans out, saying how we're unfunny, we're horrible, we're this, we're that, we're the other. That guy is, I mean, how that guy has a following like as big as what he does, I don't know. But yeah, he's been having a meltdown. It's been pretty amusing to watch. So no, that's been amusing. But yeah. I like it. I like it. We really did take that Carabao Cup loss to Newcastle personally, didn't we? We really did take that Carabao Cup loss to them personally. Since then, we've done the double over them this season, and we've not been playing that great. Jorgen Strand Larsen to Crystal Palace. Medical's complete. Fair enough. Yes, we did the double over Newcastle. We took their best striker, even though they won't admit that he's their best striker. He is. We took their best striker, and they keep mentioning us at every opportunity. We're like long past it, by the way. We're like long since past it. We're like, we got what we wanted. Fine, fair enough. Geordie fans still mention us at every opportunity they can. Because look, yes, Isak to Liverpool hasn't exactly worked out as well as we would have hoped. And a part of that is because his leg got broken. But at the same time, it was like over 6 months ago, guys. Let it go. Let it go. You're like an obsessed person pining over their ex. Just let it go. Chill. Geordie fans deserve what they got on Saturday. Fulham equalised only to lose in the last minute. It swings and roundabouts, bro. Remember when we thought we won it, and then Fulham equalised in the last seconds of the game? Swings and roundabouts. That's how football works. How long do you think Frimpong will be out for? I reckon. I don't. Have they given a timeline on Frimpong's injury? Have they given a proper timeline? It says out for a few weeks. Now, in Liverpool terms, a few weeks probably means a few months because I don't know. We can never be proper. Groin injury though. A groin injury, few weeks. I reckon probably end of March, beginning of April is when we'll probably see him back. And then he'll probably come back and then he'll probably be out for the rest of the season because that's just how Frimpong's season's gone so far. It's been so unfortunate, but he's been really, really good for us. And then it's just ended poorly. Trippier left before kickoff. Newcastle versus Liverpool. She looked so confused, 6 years old. Bless her. Bless her. It's not great when players do that. Like, kid just enjoying it, taking it all in. Very excited just to be there and to maybe meet some of her like heroes and stuff. It doesn't. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't look good, and obviously those kind of clips don't look great. I don't know if there's more context to it. I don't know if I don't know the full story. That's what I'm saying. Like, those kind of clips taken out like that don't often look good. But sometimes I'm not saying all the time or in this specific instance, sometimes those kind of things are somewhat taken out of context or the full story is not being revealed is basically what I'm trying to say. I don't know. But it either way, it doesn't look good. I saw that video on Twitter. Joe Gomez needs a Liverpool goal. He definitely does. Yeah. Like I say, I'm really hoping, really hoping that we get to the Champions League final and Gomez scores the winner this year. That would be my dream. My dream this year would be Champions League final. Gomez scores in the 96th minute of or 97th minute of injury time. Ballum hopes she gets the free stadium tour and some free stuff like that for the poor lass. Yeah, if obviously if that is genuinely the case, then fair enough. I was so happy for Konate scoring. Yeah, such an emotional moment, man. Such an emotional moment. Big up to Ibrahima Konate from what he's been going through these past few weeks. Big up Martin, who's in the building. Hope you're doing well, my bro. Lovely to have you here with us. Did you see Away Day's YouTube video of West Ham Olympic Stadium? I know many in the last year now did a London Stadium YouTube video. I never watched a match there and most likely never will. You'll be too far away to see it. You'll be too far away to see the match. Aren't the fans like so far away from the actual pitch that it's like you need binoculars to see? Isn't that the case at the London Stadium? I am aware West Ham pay only 2 to 4 million a year in rent for the Olympic Stadium and taxpayers' money, etc. for this. I can't comment. I don't know the full story, bro. I can't really comment. Sign Thiago Ilori back on loan. We need one more extra defender. I have to go, Fletch. It was good to talk to you. Thank you for having me. Thiago Ilori, blast from the past. Yeah, big up, bro. Lovely to have you here with us. As always, great to talk football with you, my dude. Hope you keep well, my friend, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Peter and Wingy is outside Fletcher's house. What a story, man. What a story. Peter and Wingy, Dragons QPR Stadium. Yeah, classic throwback that. Love it. Bajcetic should be available soon. Hope he's... I don't know. I think the boat may have sailed on Bajcetic, to be fair. I think the boat may have sailed. The boat may have sailed on Bajcetic. Great for us when he came in. And in a time where someone needed to step up, it was this kid. This kid stepped up for us when we needed it most. I just don't think it works out for a player when they get into the team and then they are left out of it and then they go on loan somewhere. It just doesn't exactly say to me that they're going to make it in this team. Marco Grujic was another one. Marco Grujic was another one that I was like, I have high hopes for this guy, and it just never happened. He went on loan to a couple of places, and it just never worked out. If you get the game stuck in a loop, Gomez still couldn't score. Ah, bless him. I'm sure he will. Like I say, we get to a Champions League final and Gomez scores the winner in the 97th minute, or we get to a Champions League final, the game is like 4-0 to Liverpool, and in the 90 whatever minute, we get a penalty. Mo Salah puts the ball down on the spot, turns to Joe Gomez, points at him and goes, take it. And Gomez goes and scores. Either way, I just want Gomez to score before his time at Liverpool is up. I hope it's in a massive game. I hope it's in a massive moment for that goal to mean a lot more than just it being his first ever Liverpool goal. But yeah, I need him to score, man. Not only that as well, but he's had a long time to think about what celebration he's going to do for that particular moment. So I'm expecting a big celebration from Joe Gomez. I'm expecting a big, big, big celebration from Joe Gomez because he's had a long, long time to prepare for it. So it best be worth the wait. The celebration best be worth the wait. It can't be anything like too generic. It can't be anything like that. It's got to be something big and unique. Did you see both Dom Solanke goals against Man City? Yeah, the scorpion kick especially was incredible. The scorpion kick was absolutely incredible, to say the least. Like I say, I was not expecting Tottenham to draw yesterday. I was not expecting that. I wasn't expecting them to even come back from 2 goals down, in all honesty. I was expecting them to help out Man City. I was expecting them to kind of try and throw Arsenal off a little bit. They ended up doing Arsenal a big favour. And have you noticed recently as well? Have you noticed recently that when City drop points, Villa do, or vice versa? It's so weird right now. Like, why is it when City drop points, Villa do as well? It's so strange. But yeah, massive 3 points for Brentford, though. Massive 3 points for Brentford. And obviously, it was a big win for Arsenal without even kicking a ball yesterday. I know they smashed up Leeds, who had been on a good run until that point, or a decent run at least. At least by their standards, it was decent. But yeah, that's big. Also, the Chelsea versus West Ham with that heated moment. Yeah, João Pedro looked absolutely terrified of Adama Traore. Just this absolute unit of a guy just swearing up to him. And João Pedro goes, "Oh, I think I may have made a mistake." Jesus Christ. Thought Gomez got injured putting his Tommy Hilfiger jacket on yesterday. The guy could get injured sleeping. The guy could pull a hamstring whilst just sleeping in bed. Like, that's just how fragile this guy is, unfortunately. But even if he was on one leg and like we had a penalty in the Champions League final and we're 4-0 up, I'd still wheel him out. Put him on the pitch as a sub, and then take him off as soon as he scored. He deserves a moment like that. Big up Nems is in the building. New logo, I believe. Looking good, my man. Looking good. Hope you're doing well, my friend. So your bottom 3 to go down are, well, I think Burnley and Wolves are done. I think Burnley and Wolves are both done. I think for Wolves, it's about just trying to get past that magic 11 number in terms of points. Burnley just don't have the quality to stay up. Like, okay enough squad, just not the individual quality that's needed to stay up. I go back and forth over whether I would like Nottingham Forest to go down. I think it would be funny if they did. I think it would be funny if they did go down, personally. I'm open to that, to be fair. But do I see them going down over someone like West Ham, who I don't know. I don't necessarily trust. I don't know. Still don't think Palace are safe, you know. Especially with everything that's going on with them right now. They may just about get away with it. But I still wouldn't say they're safe. I think Tottenham will be fine. Brighton are fine. Everybody that's from Tottenham above are fine. But Palace are in danger. Leeds are in danger. Forest are in danger. Burnley and Wolves are gone. It's an interesting one, man. That's it. It's an interesting debate to have. Maybe something to be discussed in a bit more detail on another day. I'm interested though. Let's say I think 2 of the 3 are already gone, as it usually tends to be around about this point in the season. Usually 2 of the 3 are gone. The third one, I'm not so sure, because Leeds have done better than I expected this year. Leeds have definitely done better than I expected this year. Got a few more points under their belts. Daniel Farke, especially in these past couple of months, has really pulled it out of the bag for them to give them a good fighting chance of survival. Palace, like I say, they're in free fall right now. So I don't know about Palace. Forest. I don't know about Forest. Forest have the capabilities of staying up. Forest have the capabilities of being higher than where they currently are right now. The problem with Forest is that they're not as good as what they thought they were last season. And last season was an anomaly. And West Ham bottled a 2-goal lead on Saturday. I should have known that they would. I should have put a bet on Chelsea to win as soon as West Ham went 2-0 up. That was a missed opportunity by me. I don't know. I just think that I just don't trust West Ham. I don't trust West Ham. And again, it's similar to Arsenal right now. It's similar to Arsenal in the sense of, I think I think the teams above West Ham could probably drop as many points as they wanted. In the same way that at the top of the table, Arsenal could probably drop as many points as they wanted. But I don't see anybody capitalising. I don't see City capitalising on Arsenal. I don't see West Ham capitalising on Forest. I think it may be West Ham that go down this year. I think it may be that. But again, not my strongest of opinions. Not my strongest of opinions. Come back to me with 10 games to go. In about 4 or 5 games' time, I think we'll get a better understanding of where the relegation battle lies. Especially because at this point in the season last year, the relegation battle was done, wasn't it? The relegation battle was done this time last year. All 3 teams were pretty much dead and buried. I think there was only Ipswich that had a fighting chance. And even then, they just did not have the quality to stay. Wild Devil says probably Leeds. Fair enough. Big up Lee's in the building. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Lovely to have you here with us. He says Wolves are long gone. West Ham have a fighting chance. Yeah. They're probably the only team in which you could maybe make a case for that might survive. The only problem with it is, and I obviously have to look at the fixture lists and things in more detail. The only problem is that West Ham have not exactly filled me with any confidence that they can capitalise on Forest or Leeds dropping points. So we shall see. Shame West Ham let Chelsea win late on. Yeah, bottling a 2-goal lead the way that they did, not amazing, not great at all. Especially in the London derby. Only because of Nuno. West Ham's squad is a bit weak. Especially now that they've lost Paqueta as well. That side's even weaker than what it was beforehand. Look, I feel sorry for a little bit for Nuno, but at the same time, Nuno should have known exactly what he was walking into. That West Ham side, and those West Ham fans as well. Like, those West Ham fans that for years were calling out David Moyes, who may not have exactly played the most attractive football, the best of football. Yeah, great. But he was consistent. David Moyes, as I always said, was consistent and would overachieve with very little. And that's exactly what David Moyes did for West Ham. And those West Ham fans, even though that man delivered them a European trophy, still were not grateful for what they had at their disposal. They were still not grateful for what they had. And now, they deserve to get relegated now that I've said it out loud. They deserve to get it. They deserve to get relegated for that alone. They did not realize what they had until it's gone. They didn't like the fact that they were consistent. They didn't like the fact that they were maybe a little boring. They didn't like the fact that, the football wasn't great. Or apparently they were like constantly coming in 7th, 8th, 9th, those kind of positions. But they didn't realize how bad things could be without him. Well, now they're realizing they absolutely deserve everything they're getting. It's their defense. It's god awful. Yeah, I completely agree. completely agree. The likes of Jared Bowen deserve more. Yeah, Moyes did well, but they turned on him easily. Probably worst West Ham side in 10 years. Yeah, it's a horrible Frankenstein of a team, isn't it? It is a team that has been just randomly stuck together and just hope for the best. It's not a great team. It's not a great team. There are a couple of gems in there. Like Souček's okay. You can do a job. Bowen, obviously, I think it'll be interesting what happens with Jared Bowen this summer, especially if West Ham do go down. It'll be interesting. I'm sure his father-in-law will be threatening him to stay. But it'd be interesting to see what happens with Jared Bowen. Because a lot of teams could do with him. A lot of teams could do with him. I never thought I'd hear a Liverpool fan speak up for Moyes, but it's true. Like I say, there's no agendas here. Like I put rivalries and stuff like that aside, and I try and speak as many facts and try and speak logically and as neutrally and as honestly as I can. Like, don't get me wrong, David Moyes is an Evertonian on a rivalry front. Yeah, I don't like Everton, so therefore I don't like David Moyes. But if I am to be genuine, if I am to be try and be honest as much as I can, David Moyes is a solid manager. I don't think he's a manager as proven by his time at Manchester United that can coach big teams, but he is a manager that can overachieve with smaller teams. And I don't mean any disrespect towards the teams that he has coached and done well with, like West Ham, like Everton in the past, not just even in the present, but in the past. But yeah, Moyes is a good coach. Moyes is a very, very good coach. And I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but it's genuinely true. He's a good coach that has overachieved a lot over the years, with very little. With very little. That's just the way that I see it. That's with Bowen. That's with Goya. Like I say, Bowen is going to be an interesting one to see where he goes this summer, if he goes. Lopetegui was, they absolutely rolled the dice with that one, didn't they? They really did roll the dice with that one, and it's come back to bite them hard. They went, thanks for the consistency. Thanks for the tried and tested Mr. David Moyes, who, very consistent, overachieves a lot. You got no fear of relegation with David Moyes. You're not exactly going to pull up any trees in terms of, you may not get Champions League football or win the Premier League, but you are safe and sound, and you may get some form of European football with David Moyes. We're gonna scrap all that, and we're gonna roll the dice and gamble on Lopetegui. And that did not end well. That did not end well at all. And then obviously, before they could even go crawling back to David Moyes, Moyes was already being appointed the manager of Everton. Again. Bowen would do well for Everton. Yeah, he would. It might not be a bad shout, that one, to be fair. Bowen to Everton. I feel like he could do well at a lot of clubs. I feel like clubs outside of the top, well, the sort of modern top 5, I guess you'd say. I don't think he'd do well for Liverpool anymore. I feel like if this was several years ago, maybe. I don't think he'd be the kind of caliber of player that Liverpool are looking for. Don't think he'd be the caliber of player City are looking for. Arsenal, no, because obviously they've got Saka and now Madueke apparently. Chelsea, no. He's not in the age range of players that he's not in the age range of players that would fit Chelsea. And Man United, again, maybe if this was United of a few years ago, maybe. I don't think he'd come in and do a good enough job for United. I think from Tottenham onwards, yeah, I think any kind of club like that, I think he'd do great for Tottenham. I think he'd do great for Newcastle. I think he'd come in and do a job for Villa. Like you say, Everton, Fulham. I think there are a lot of teams that should be interested in monitoring the Jared Bowen situation. I think there are. How old is he? He's about 28, 29, isn't he? $29. Yeah, he's 29. It'll be 30 by the end of the year. So, yeah, it's not exactly an amazing age, but he could still do a job for at least 2 or 3 more years. You would imagine. You imagine for a purchase of 2 or 3 years, he would still be a good enough purchase for most clubs. As a Red Scouser, I loathe David Moyes, but it would be churlish of me to not recognize it. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm the same, bro. I'm the same. I don't like it any more than you do, waxing lyrical or speaking highly of a rival, but I will give respect where it's due. Where respect is due, I will give it as much as I can. Like David Moyes deserves immense amounts of respect for what he's managed to achieve, not just at Everton, but at West Ham as well. It was when Moyes called Everton the People's Club that got right on my bloody nerves. Yeah. But yeah, Everton did well to reappoint them. He's a step up from Dyche. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. He called them the People's Club, and I think, wasn't it Rafa Benitez that called them a little club? Big up Rafa Benitez every time, bro. Bowen is a Scott Parker type player, stays at clubs for years. Yeah, you remember when he was like 24, 25, and people were like, oh, he's ready to make the step up to a Big Six team, and he just never did. He stayed on way too long. Again, another bit of a what if story. Yeah, I knew what you meant, bro. I knew what you meant. I really like Bowen. Yeah, like I say, he's a little underrated. He's a little underrated for what he's managed to achieve at West Ham. He's been a thorn in our side many times, as with a number of players, bro. Him, Anthony Gordon, Ismail Assar, just to name 3, always seemingly score against us. Always seemingly score, or at least put in good performances against us every time we play them, at the very least. Big up Luca Talks Dons is in the building. Lovely to see you, my bro. Hope you're doing well on this Monday morning. Guys, go and subscribe to Luca Talks Dons. He's talking some MK Dons. He's talking Arsenal as well. If you want to broaden your footballing horizons and check out some good content, go over there and show some love and some support to Luca over there. Rafa going in stood show. Absolutely. Rafa held nothing back when talking and somewhat disrespecting Everton Football Club. And then, of course, he went and joined them. Which was weird and awkward a little bit. It was so weird. It was like, I understand you love the city of Liverpool, but couldn't you have managed Tranmere or something? What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? So weird. But even so, even so, it's Rafa. It's Rafa. I'm quite confident for the City game. Ekatike is on fire at the moment. 3-2 Liverpool Fletch. That's a positive. Here's the thing. I'm hesitant because obviously I think City can turn it on a bit like a tap. Maybe the past few weeks they've not been great. But I feel like City can just turn it on whenever they want. So City could turn up on Sunday and just absolutely wipe the floor with us. I wouldn't put it past them. On the flip side, City's history against Liverpool, especially at Anfield, hasn't been great. I want to say they haven't won there since I can't even remember when the last time they won there. It may have been COVID season. I don't remember. But I know their record at Anfield isn't great. So that might give us a bit of confidence as well. But yeah, until proven otherwise, Slot needs to kind of prove to me that this is not a ticking time bomb waiting to happen and that this is legitimately the beginning of some consistency with Liverpool Football Club right now. Until proven otherwise, I still will have my doubts. I've seen too many false starts this season for me to get ahead of myself in saying that Liverpool will definitely win, Liverpool would do this, Liverpool will do that. I've seen too many false starts. I've seen Arne Slot overthink things too many times this campaign for me to get ahead of myself. So I'm not going to. All I'm going to say is that Liverpool are coming into this one better than we were earlier on in the season. Liverpool are coming to this game with history at Anfield on their side. But we still have to be aware of City. We still have to be aware of the dangers that they pose. And let's face it, Haaland in recent weeks has not been great. He's not been great. But neither was Anthony Gordon, and Anthony Gordon still managed to score against us. Neither has a lot of other players this season, and they still managed to score against us. So, again, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just take it as it is. And chill. And chill. The horrible thing about it is I don't want Arsenal to win the league, but we also need to win on Sunday, especially after Tottenham drew to City yesterday. So we need to win this game. I never go into any game wanting to lose, so I just want to throw that out there as well. I don't want to lose, but yeah, it's not a great situation to be in, considering that I don't want Arsenal to win the league. It is what it is. Bowen could still be a Mo replacement even at 29. Okay, he's 29, but he could still go a few seasons out of him. Yeah, I'm not one of these people that's like the modern day football manager or FIFA fan that basically goes, oh, I look at a player and if they're like 30 or over, they're finished. I don't go for that logic. I don't go for that logic of 30 or over and you're done. I understand he'll have a few years left. He will have a few years left in him. I just don't think he would suit this Liverpool setup right now, especially if we're going to be morphing into a different type of formation. And if Isak comes back, I'm hoping that Liverpool will go to like a more of a two up top, because I would love to see Ekatike and Isak play together. I would love to see that. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. Rafa managing Everton was mad. Their fan base hated him from the get-go. Yeah, because he told them he told them they were a small club, whilst also managing their biggest rivals and managing their rivals to not just an FA Cup but a Champions League as well. And there wasn't a moment where he didn't turn around and disrespect them. It was funny. It was funny. Agent Rafa is what we used to call him, wasn't it? Agent Rafa. Like I say, mad times. Since Kevin De Bruyne and Silva left City, been poor. Silva's not left though, unless you're talking David Silva. If you're talking David Silva, then yes. But Bernardo's still there. It's just that they've got older. Like De Bruyne, even in his last year or two, wasn't amazing. Still had his moments, but wasn't amazing consistently because he was just getting older and Pep was leaving him on the bench more. Bernardo Silva, his legs have just gone. His legs went last year, but City didn't do anything about it. His legs have completely gone. Bernardo Silva is just done. City's problem is just defensively. They're just not. How strange is it that the majority of Pep's budget that he's spent since arriving at Man City has been spent on defenders? And how weird is it that the majority of those signings and the majority of that money has been wasted because his defenders can't defend? Gahey, I think, is a fantastic signing and will come good. I get that. But none of their defenders look good. That, how'd you pronounce his name? Kasanov? Kushinov? How the hell do you pronounce his name? Let me have a look. I want to know how you pronounce his name. I've completely forgot how you pronounce his Kusanov. He looks good. I know he had a very, very awkward debut, but he actually does look good. And he's the one defender that they don't play. He's the one defender that they don't play, but he looks decent. I'd take him at Liverpool. But he's the one defender that they don't play, and he actually looks decent. Everybody else looks terrified. They look like, oh my God, I have to actually defend. I don't know what I'm doing. They're so scared. Big up Stringers in the building. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Lovely to have you here with us. David Silva was class. Yeah, I love watching David Silva. David Silva, what a player. What a player. Him in the midfield alongside Yaya Toure. Oh, absolute filth. Absolute filth. No Rodri, no City. This is why I'm right. When I say this, I'm not pinning everything down to just Rodri. Okay, I'm not saying that City are a one-man team when I say this. I'm not saying City or Rodri is the be-all and end-all of Manchester City. But there's a reason why, after his first season, I have been such a Rodri fan for years. There is a big reason why I said this guy deserved to win the Ballon d'Or twice in a row rather than the only year he won it. You know, the year before he actually did win it, I did think Rodri should have won it then. Because I saw him for what he was, and that was the best defensive midfielder on the planet at that point. because he made everything look so easy, so effortless. And he was so criminally underrated because we were at a time where obviously Messi, Ronaldo were aliens and had set the standard. And everybody was mainly focused on goals and assists and output. And a lot of people still are to this day. A lot of people still look at, oh, well, how many goals does he get? How many assists does he get? There's more to football than just goals and assists. Yes, they are important. I get that. But there is a way that you get those goals and assists by having the players behind you that do all the dirty work, all the control. All of like what Rodri was doing was so important to Man City because it gave the platform for the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, Erling Haaland, Doku, Riyad Mahrez, Bernardo Silva, whoever, to go and be them. He ran so they could walk. You know what I mean? Like, he laid the groundwork. He was the controller. He did everything that allowed those more influential players to go and perform. And every now and again, when needed, Rodri would just pop up and he'd score a screamer from about 30 yards. Every now and again, he'd gate crash the box late on in order to fire into the back of the net. But that's not what you remember from Rodri. You may remember his Champions League final goal. Fair enough. But you don't really remember Rodri for his goal scoring. You don't really remember Rodri for his assist making. You remember him more so when he's not in the team than when he is, because when he's not in the team, City don't look as good. And that is the best compliment you can give a player. That when he is not in the team, you notice. You notice when he's not in the team because, as you said, they don't look that good when he's not in it. And it's unfortunate that he did his ACL going on a couple of years ago now. Like, I would have loved to have seen how he would have progressed and advanced in his career. Had obviously that ACL not impacted him. But it's clear that even after coming back from his ACL, he's still not he's not the same Rodri as when he was beforehand. But he's still a damn good player, isn't he? He's still a damn good player. Like I say, so criminally underrated. Probably should be a 2-time Ballon d'Or winner. Rodri is awesome. And they've not properly replaced him. I think Nico Gonzalez is good, but he's not Rodri. And if you're not going to replace Rodri properly in that one position, you need to replace him in multiple other positions. And that will include centre-back. And maybe they've started it with Guéhi. But there's still a long way to go. It's the same with Mo Salah at Liverpool. There's not another right winger out there that can replace Mo Salah in terms of his goals and assists. No one that's realistic. No one that can do it. Maybe Lamine Yamal. Maybe, but that's not realistic because that's never going to happen. He's going to stay at Barcelona his entire career. No one is replacing Mo Salah. So how do you replace the goals and assists that Mo Salah produces? You buy goals and assists in multiple other positions. That's why we bought Isak. That's why we bought Ekitike. Because those goals, and that's why you buy Florian Wirtz as well. Because those goals and assists will all come from those 3 players in particular. And those 3 players will match up, equal, maybe even better the similar output that Mo Salah has been producing since he arrived at Liverpool. That's how that's how you put a contingency plan in place for a player of that caliber. You go, we may not be able to replicate it in one position, but we can certainly do it in multiple others. That's what Liverpool have done. Now, it hasn't quite worked out yet, but you feel that it will always have the potential to work out. We shall see, obviously, how that goes. But for City and replacing Rodri, they've just not been able to do it as of right now. Big up to each and every single one of you that's in the building. Make sure you're hitting the like button and subscribing. I'm going to wrap up after some more comments and a little bit more time. The board has basically done nothing in this window except from the summer deal of Jeremy Jacquet. How are we going to cope this long season, especially in cup competitions and fighting for a top 4 finish? Big up Gerson, like a fantastic chat there, bro. I agree with you. Like, I don't think it's good enough. I like the signing, don't get me wrong. And I'll be happy when he does come in the summer. But like you say, for the here and now, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Like I say, I still find it bizarre that we would let Mark Gahey slip through our fingers for a fraction of the price that we're going to be paying this 20-year-old kid who is from the French league. And again, nothing wrong with the French league, but again, it's somewhat unproven. He's somewhat unproven. It's a big deal. It's a very, very big deal for a number of reasons, for a number of layers, for a number of things that are going on. So yes, I agree. I 100% agree. I think it's crazy. I think it is a massive, massive risk, especially when you consider that when you consider that our players are dropping like flies. It is a big risk, a very big risk. But we shall see. We shall see. If we get away with it and we actually get a trophy at the end of the season, then they'll have got away with it. Only just, but they'll have got away with it. If these injuries come back to bite us horribly and we've not learnt from past mistakes, then the club have got a lot to answer for and will have blood on their hands. Absolute criminal. Absolutely criminal. Big up Marco is in the chat. Lovely to have you here, my bro. It says Gertrude. I'm not pronouncing that name right. I'm probably not. I probably just absolutely butchered that name. Gertrude. I can't. We'll just call him Gert. Still on. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it is going to happen. I don't know if it's completely dead, but I don't know if it will be happening unless it's, like I say, a loan move. Unless it's definitely going to be a loan move and it's going to work out that way. It doesn't look like it will probably happen. Gahey was fouled during the build-up to the Spurs goal. Yeah, there was a lot of controversy surrounding that. I don't know. It looked like he was, but I don't know if it was soft or not. I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Liverpool owner must have the American Express Centurion card for spending. Either that or someone's stolen John W. Henry's wallet. Someone's either stolen his wallet or we've got something going on. Crazy, isn't it? It is crazy. Let's yeah, fun. Fun times. Is deadline day today? Anything happening? Yeah, deadline days today. It looks like it's going to be a quiet one, to be fair. If there is going to be some movement, it's probably not going to be monumental or groundbreaking. It looks like it's going to be a pretty quiet window for the vast majority of teams, which, as I mentioned earlier on in the stream, I find to be a little strange considering considering that it's a World Cup year. That's what I meant to say. Considering it's a World Cup year, I was expecting a lot more movement. I was expecting a lot of players to be kind of like, oh, I want to be on that plane and I want to be in the World Cup this year and all of that kind of stuff. And the only way I'm going to do it is if I play more minutes and things like that. So I was expecting a bit more movement than what there has been. But there obviously have been a couple of big transfers, hasn't there? There's obviously been a couple of big transfers, Semenyo, Gahey, but they happened very early, didn't they? They happened very early on in the transfer window. How much was Liverpool supposed to pay for Gahey? Much more than 20 million, right? Well, we were supposed to pay 35 in the summer before Palace pulled the plug on the deal. And then apparently we decided not to go back for him. We decided not to pay 20 on Gahey, but we're going to pay 60 million euros on Jeremy Jacquet, which works out at roughly it roughly works out at like 50 million, sorry, 50, somewhere between 52 and 55 million pounds and 5 million pounds in add-ons, roughly speaking. So yeah, great. No, I think it might. I think it will work out, but we still need more. We still need more. Arsenal in for Tonali to replace injured Marino. Yeah, I read the same thing out on stream earlier, and I said that Newcastle have instantly rejected that approach, and they've dismissed it and said that there's been no contact of any kind from Arsenal. And whilst I think that's probably true, whilst I think that is probably very true, I was saying that the amusing part of that story is obviously Newcastle denying that he will denying that he will go. Because where have we heard that before? Where have we heard that before? Where have we heard that a player from Newcastle will definitely not be leaving the club? I can't think of it. Where did we hear that story before? No, mine's gone blank. I can't think of it. I can't think where we heard that stuff. Oh, Isak, of course. Yes. Alexander Isak. Yes. That's where we heard it before, right? No. I don't think... I think if anything was to happen with Tonali, it probably would be in the summer. I think that would probably happen. But if it doesn't, and there actually is something monumental... Oh, I am going to be all over that. I'm going to be all over that because that's going to be hilarious to me. It's going to be hilarious to me. Especially because I've just found a tweet from a certain Luke Edwards, who we covered a lot in the summer. We covered his absolutely terrible journalism and his stupid reporting a lot in the summer. He has said that Newcastle United have described stories claiming Arsenal have made a late attempt to sign midfielder Sandro Tonali as stupid and completely rubbish. But other than that, it's a good story. I'm just saving that tweet for a little later, just in case. Things do escalate. Just saving that tweet for later. There we go. Look, I don't think it will happen. I think if something was to happen, it would probably be in the summer. But it would be very intriguing if obviously something did transpire like that. And like I say, that guy, especially that Luke Edwards guy, you know, after what he did in the summer, I'm surprised people still follow him and you know, take anything that he says with any sort of credibility or relevance. Like I say, he properly mugged himself off in the summer. So I'm just gonna throw it out there and say that, you know, why would he be taking anything that the club says too literally? Why would he be saying anything that the club says too literally? Especially given the fact that they told him a lot of things would have to happen for Alexander Isak to leave. That didn't exactly happen. So, again, take it all with a pinch of salt. Word on the street is Jacquet is the new Van Dijk. He could be. There's only one Virgil van Dijk. Absolutely there is. But we obviously do need to find a contingency plan for the big Dutch centre-back, and Jacquet could be it. He could be it. I'm not saying he will be, but he could be. It's an interesting one. Isak could not hide his smirk with every goal Liverpool was putting past Newcastle. Just really rubbed it in those Geordie's faces, especially, like I say, that Geordie Josh guy. I don't know him, by the way. I'm not claiming to know the guy, but when you put stuff online, I think you're fair game for criticism, not abuse, criticism. And yeah, some of his takes back in the summer were absolutely wild, to say the least. Future back three. It'd be interesting if we were going to move to a back three. If Gertrude comes, there will be a Dutch enclave at Liverpool. I mean, we already got it. Van Dijk, Gakpo, Gravenberch, Frimpong. You had Gertrude. We were talking about maybe potentially buying Dumfries a few days ago. Is it just stories of convenience, or is there actually some legitimacy behind it? Only time will tell. Are we buying another French player that then encourage Konate to stay? I think maybe the nationality is coincidental. I would probably say the nationality is coincidental. I don't think it has any bearing on whether or not Konate will stay or not. I think it obviously is now going to be interesting with the Konate situation as to what happens, because I'm again, I don't mean any like I'm not wanting to be disrespectful when I say this or anything like that. But of course, when something does impact you in the way that obviously it's impacted Konate in recent weeks with the passing of his father and stuff like that, that can often impact your decision making in terms of what you want from your life in the future. Maybe he wants to go back to France. Maybe he wants to go closer to home to be with family and things like that. So maybe he decides that maybe maybe that might be best for him, or it could be something along the lines of, maybe he does now want to stay at Liverpool even more so. Maybe he will drop his wage demands or whatever, and there will be a found agreement between club and player. You never know. You never know with these kinds of things. Either way, it's going to be interesting to see what the decision-making process is by both player and club. I'm sure it will be as respectful as possible in light of recent events. But yeah, like you can never tell, and you never really properly know. You never know. You never know. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how this one goes about it. But I would probably say that the signing of Jacquet has no proper influence on whether or not Konate stays or leaves. Probably end up going PSG. He may do. And like I say, for a free signing is what he will be. Obviously for PSG, you can't go much wrong. Wage demands, like I say, very dependent on if they're realistic or not. But on his day, like I say, he can be a beast of a defender. Like we saw it on Saturday. The guy was imperious in the game against Newcastle. He was absolutely awesome. The problem that I've had is that we haven't seen that enough this season. I've seen him be weak. I've seen him be inconsistent. I've seen him make mistakes. I haven't seen Konate be consistent this season, which is my major bugbear with him, because I know how good of a player he is. But he was absolutely awesome on Saturday, and he capped it off with a goal that was so emotional and, like I say, weirdly beautiful at the same time. Like, it may seem like the wrong kind of phrasing of words to use, but just to see the emotion pour out of not just him, but the team kind of comfort him as well. It was beautiful to watch. So yeah, big up Konate, big up the team, and big up the result, performance, and everything else that went along with what made that day so incredible. Frimpong, Van Dijk, Gakpo, Frimpong, Gertrude, Slot, Gravenberch. Yes, the this Dutch team we're apparently building. I don't necessarily know if that's a good thing. We're like playing Ultimate Team right now. Anyway, I feel like that's a good point to leave it on. So 10 goals, 2 games, getting momentum. Hopefully that momentum carries on into the City game on Sunday. There's no guarantee it will, but hopefully that will be the case. Also, we've got like a full week to prepare for that City game. City, I believe. Let me just see if I've got my weeks right here. Yes, City will be in action on Wednesday in the EFL Cup, the Carabao Cup against Newcastle, the second leg of that game. City go into it with a 2-goal lead, but of course, a lot can happen in 90 minutes, and especially with the way that City have been playing recently, and also losing a 2-goal lead to Spurs yesterday, you wouldn't put it past Newcastle to maybe come back in that one. I still think the game's over, but I'm just throwing it out there as a bit of a what if, and don't count your chickens kind of thing. Just saying. Anyway, Thank you all so much for watching, for listening, for taking your time out of your busy schedule to hear the ramblings and whatever else of this guy. Do me a massive favor, people. If you like the stream, hit the like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. All on the way out. Really do appreciate it. And if you're watching on playback, of course, hit up the comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling about anything that we talked about in this video and live stream. Really do appreciate each and every single one of you being here. Like I say, your love and support to the channel is very much appreciated. I cannot speak highly enough of each and every single one of you. I really, 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 really do appreciate it. You guys are absolutely freaking awesome. Thanks, everyone. Really do appreciate it. I've been Fletch. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Thank you all for watching and listening, and I will see and speak to you all again soon in another video or Newcastle. Or Newcastle? What the hell am I talking about? Or the video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves, and I'll speak to you all again very, very soon. Peace out.